الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد ومن يعصهما فإنه لا يضر إلا نفسه ولا يضر الله شيئا. وقال الله تبارك وتعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. وقال: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. وعن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت: قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: النكاح من سنتي فمن لم يعمل بسنتي فليس مني وتزوجوا فإني مكاثر بكم الأمم ومن كان ذا طول فلينكح ومن لم يجد فعليه بالصيام فإن الصوم له وجاء. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: تنكح المرأة لأربع: لمالها ولحسبها ولجمالها ولدينها فاظفر بذات الدين تربت يداك. وعن عائشة رضي الله عنها عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: خيركم خيركم لأهله وأنا خيركم لأهلي. The purpose of reading the khutbah first was the few advices I will mention now is practically a translation of what has been mentioned in front. It is a very unique few ayat that have been selected at the time of the khutbah of the nikah. The crux of all of these ayat is where Allah Tabarak Ta'ala says, "O man." And in one verse Allah Tabarak Ta'ala says, "O people of Iman, fear Allah, ittaqullah." And in fearing Allah, Allah Tabarak Ta'ala gives the command, وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. Watch how you speak. It is a word that can break a lot of bones. One word. It is something that can hardly be taken back. A word which you say to your wife, perhaps with a hug, with a kiss, can be forgotten. A word that you say to your mother-in-law or father-in-law is never ever forgotten. It is one word. The tongue is so light, but the damage that it can do is so much. Allah Tabarak Ta'ala says, "O people of Iman, fear your Allah. وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا." And when you speak, watch your words. If you will do so much, Allah Tabarak Ta'ala says, I'll do the rest. يُصْلِحْ لَكُمْ أَعْمَالَكُمْ. Your actions in life, we will put everything right. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned ثَلَاثَ. There are three people, حَقٌّ عَلَى اللَّهِ عَوْنُهُمْ. Almighty Allah took a promise, He will help them. It is something unique to think this. What we are seeing at the present time in the world in Gaza, and people wonder how this group are managing to push behind back the strongest military in the world, because they're backed by the strongest. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said there are three who Almighty Allah has made it like a promise that He will definitely help them. The first is Al-Mujahid fi Sabilillah. The fighter in the path of Allah, he only sees the help of Allah. The second was regarding someone in the past. It was the time of slavery, Al-Mukatab. A slave wanted freedom. The master would normally put a very high price. But he feels that I will pay it. He intends, I'm going to pay this thing. No matter how high it is, somehow or the other, Allah brings something in and the thing gets paid. It was said, don't be a coward. The mujahid, before going in the field, was told, don't be a coward. The door opens after you sit in the field. You only see the help of Allah after you make the step. And the people in Gaza, after many years when the word of jihad was not heard, where it was not heard from the mimbars, where it was not heard in gatherings, Allah reward the people of Gaza, that they have made the emblem that either we will be victorious in this, and we will liberate Al-Aqsa, or our blood will be used to water the gardens of the future. For them it wasn't only will I come out alive. They got nothing in this about life. It is Ghaziyan or Shaheed. Either I will get martyrdom now or I'm going to win this battle. They thought the whole world that they took a step in a direction which everyone said impossible, and Allah showed the impossible is possible when the help of Allah comes. The second was the slave. A very high amount was put. The master said, well, you pay it. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, take the step. Don't ever look at the door closed, because it opens when you walk towards it. The third is, he said, an-nakih, yuridul afaf. A boy who wants to make nikah, a girl who wants to make nikah. And their intention in this year is so that I can stay pure for my Allah. Yuridul afaf. So someone will say, but the doors are closed. Allah's Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, walk towards it, the doors will open. Don't wait from beforehand. That first open and then I walk. Here the thing is first walk and then the doors will open. When Allah's help comes, it comes in such amazing ways. Scholars have written that when a person walks in this path, even difficulty has goodness in it. One example is given. A girl, for whatever reason, she reached an age where the proposal never came. And pushing her father, that I really need to get married. And the father says but who will now? You have reached almost touching the age of 40. But the girl's features were different. And the age is different. Sometimes your age don't show. So she looked younger, but the age is much more. Which you will see in this hadith we read, where Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a woman will be married for one of four things. Either she's married for her wealth, or she's married for her family, nobility. She's married for her beauty. Nowadays it's that. Whenever a boy goes, and that is why so important this narration is, so important. There is something called surat, the outside form. There is something called sirat, the inside. I really thought of this narration. Allah allowed us to go to the land of Afghanistan. In the land we were fortunate, as soon as they landed, they wanted to show us some male ghanimat, something they took from the Americans. So what was the best thing? It was a car which was called bomb-proof. But this bomb-proof car got no windows. It got no windows, because if the bomb has to hit it, the car still, so if you got windows, it's going to shatter. You can see through, but it got no window. So we were so thrilled. The outside surat was fantastic. But when we got in the car and he starts driving and we told him, put on the aircon, he said, aircon don't work. That drive for us became like a qiyamah. Waiting to stop at one place and say, we change the car, please. Give us a simple car. So at that time, while in the car and burning in the back, trying to sleep, not sleeping, I thought of this. I said, if a nikah is to take place, I'll mention to youngsters that always they say, I want something like hot, or she must be like a bomb. So even if she's bomb-proof, we say first make sure her aircon is working. Aircon is working means she must be cool inside. If her sirat is not good, and the surat is unique, but when you will enter and you will find she can't talk, she can't relate, she can't be a mother, she can't be a wife, then how we said, I'd rather go for one small Corolla, but the aircon must work. You will always say, I wish. Allah's Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, some people go for the beauty. He said, some people go for deen. Fazfar bidhati deen. He said, grab onto deen. This girl was 40. The boy came to see. He looked at her. He liked her. Everything was okay. But when they send the papers now, they're looking and they see age 39. So the mother said, what? In our own circles, doesn't it happen? The girl was good. Someone said, very good. She cooks well. She speaks well. She's a very good girl. She's a alima. She's a hafiza. So everything is done. Then they ask one more question. Where's the gam? And that one gam story then just breaks the whole story. Which village in India? And then everything gone back. So let's start looking again. This hadith mentioned, think about deen. Don't ask many questions, because sometimes those other questions spoil the deen aspect. So they saw 39, and the boy's mother said, no way. But he said, I like her. She said, this woman is 40. A woman of 40, will she even give birth? Will she even manage to run a house? After 40, you go downhill. But the outside never showed. How this girl's heart broke, where after she told all her friends, I'm getting married. And then they send a message that's sorry. But they mention Allah's help comes even in difficulty, you see good also. She wanted to get married. Even in her difficulty, Allah was going to help her. So when she was depressed and sad and the news starts spreading in the village, that's when the father, now to make his daughter happy, what he's going to do? Before this, he never thought of it. To make his daughter happy, he said, let me take you for Umrah. Where else? You go to Allah's house, you'll be happy, make dua. The girl goes to the house of Allah. How she cries. Because a girl who's almost going to get married and last minute they say no, that heart really breaks. She cries, she turns to Allah, she says, I'm pleased in every condition. Pleased in every condition. But the heart pains. But even in difficulty, Allah brings ease. When an-nakih yuridul afaf. A boy wants to get married, a girl wants to get married, they want to be pure. Parents must not say, let the door open and then we will walk. Trust in the word of Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Trust in the promise of Allah. The Mujahid walked a path, Allah opened up the world for him. But the boy getting married will want two doors not open. Allow your children to go in this path. Don't hold them back. This girl lifts up her hands by the Kaaba. The Umrah is done. She goes in the aeroplane. In the aeroplane, her mother most likely will sit next to another mother. Say, we came for Umrah. Why we came for Umrah? You know what happened? My daughter was going to get married. Hey, I'm so sorry to hear. Where's your daughter? That's a nice, pretty girl, that. How could he say no? Auntie says, I got a son. Can I ask my son if he'll marry your daughter? Auntie said, let me ask my husband. In the aeroplane, the whole nikah is done. Before marrying already, the two parties get together. As soon as you marry, first masjid, the nikah will take place. This woman's nikah takes place. Where Allah made the intizam. How? That woman said, at this age, who will marry her? She got married after seeing the house of Allah. Now she gets married. The other mother, first woman, the first boy's mother said she'll never give birth. Age of 40. Very soon this girl is pregnant. Everyone is shocked. At that age will you be pregnant? That woman had said she'll never give birth. At this age, this woman is pregnant. The husband says, which hospital? First thing, which hospital? She says that Allah took a promise to help me. I will not go to any hospital. I will not. So she stays. She said, I will not go to see a doctor. May Allah took a promise to help me. She saw the help of Allah in the air. She was going to see it on ground. So she never saw a doctor. Now we're not saying try this, but sometimes people's iman reaches the sky. She said, I will not see a doctor. She never see a doctor. At the ending, he took her now to Egypt where his family was. He said, my mother will look after you. She gave birth to triplets. 3. Where that woman said, not one will come, all 3 came. So she named one Hassan, Hussein and Fatima. Fatima, Hassan, she got the whole family of Nubuwah. One shot. In her life, whenever someone would ask her a question, she said, Allah taught me one promise which is in Quran, وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. Soon your Allah will give you so much that you will become happy. She said, I'll always love others. Sometimes you will see some difficulty. Just look in front. An-nakih, yuridul afaf. Both parties, Allah Tabarak Ta'ala make, they have come looking for the chastity. For parents who are out there, you also walk in this path. Don't let the doors of nikah remain closed until you want it to open. Allow our children to walk in this direction and see the help of Almighty Allah that comes when He opens the door. Finally, for the boy and for the girl, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, خَيْرُكُمْ خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِ. The best of you is the best who will be the best to his family. The girl has to be the best to her husband. The boy has to be the best to his wife. You have to be the best to her family. She has to be the best to your family. If you are striving in this year to show Allah who is the best, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the match is now on. Prove yourself in a new family. Hazrat Moulana Hussain Ahmad Madani rahimullah is getting his daughter married. His daughter had it written and put like how we'll put on our fridge. She put this advice on her house. Later on in life she would say, it was this advice of my father that took me through marriage in what a wonderful manner. On his marriage wasiyah to his daughter, he says, that after today, O my daughter, you will be entering in a house where you will find a new mother and a new father. He says, after today, me and your mother, we will take the back seat. And this is your new mother and your new father. If you can treat them how you would treat us, you will never see problems in your marriage. Normally where we will say, don't go too close to her. Remember your mother. You're not phoning me. Our akabir on a different level. He said, now me and your mother are second. And this is your new mother and this is your new father. If you can treat them how you used to treat us, he said, oh my daughter, in life you will never see sadness. He said, I wrote this, that this is your new mother and this is your new father. I always looked at it, and my father's wasiyah, behave to them how you behave to us. May Allah Tabarakala allow both parties to be able to live up to this year. The fear of Almighty Allah to be in their houses, and then to see the barakat that comes with taqwa, protecting the tongue and trusting in the promises of Almighty Allah.